Hey, this is Blind Fox and welcome at our Gunsmith Simulator walkthrough. So last time we did some interesting stuff and we let's just see where we are. Oh, we've got one thing to actually claim, so what are we going to do? I think I might claim this one. The it's over that or the sand table one. I think I'm gonna claim the machine. No, this is not the machine one. We can either do the chemical or let's do the sand spray. Is it the rust blaster? In other words, the sand blaster one, because that's also something we do a lot. Now, last time what we did was we completed the 3 stars for this. And I think I did show you a complete actual how this worked, the auto take apart and auto complete you get with this, if I can remember right. But we can do sometime else. We also did the Desert Eagle. We also did the QBZ 97. So interesting stuff we did. And then we did the VIS, the previous video, and some other stuff as well. So let's see what we do have this time. There is some new stuff. We got brown bears. Here is a maculate. We can well do the maculate as well, maybe. If you have missed the other one, we can just show it to you again. It's if we have time. It's not that long. A one to do. There is a VIS we did. The Burrell. STG 44, the Desert Eagle that we did, Thompson 1928. So all of these guns we did do. There's no new guns here, and that is what happened when you play this game. You can't really order guns just to do them, but we do want to do some of these more. A lot of these are little stuff to do. Here we have to create some parts for the brown base. We can do a Thompson, I think, but if we do this, we're just gonna do it. We're not gonna we're basically hoping that they get some stuff that we haven't done before. So let's go and pick something up. Ah, wrong one, but in any case, we'll do our Thompson first. Now this is basically the flat magazine. You don't have all of the parts from the original one. So this one only, as I said, 55 parts again. So this is around over 50 parts, but we do not want to disassemble completely, because we have done this before. And here you can see we do not have a quick assemble or disassemble, because we don't have 2 stars yet, and the quick assemble only gets to you with 3 stars. So now we only have 25 parts to remove. Now we have to pick this up, because most of the parts, I think, is most likely in there, if there's any that we have to remove. There we go. Or at the back. Anyhow, let's see how many parts we can remove from this side. Nothing. See how difficult it is to see stuff in there. Really small parts. Really difficult to remove some of this stuff. So you have to hunt for them. What you can of course do is do this. Just click on it. I know some of you have seen this before, but hey, really go and check some of the other stuff out I've posted, other videos. So if boring routine you don't like that, but do feel free to read some of the stuff. Do pause. Sorry I cannot read all of this. That would have been fun for me as well. But then I do not read all that nicely. The good thing about if you don't remove all of the parts, you don't, it's much easier to assemble and disassemble this stuff. So we don't own anything, I think, that I can do the challenge on. Ah, there we go. Just to see some of this stuff is a bit difficult sometimes. Very nice. See, there's also double stuff here, just like the Desert Eagle. Also had some double parts. Here also looks as if there is some double parts. Especially here and here, but this is of course not a pistol. You would expect a, what is this, submachine gun. Alright, let's just turn this thing about so that we can actually see what we are doing. Here we go. If you have already started to take a piece apart, you can't remove the or you can't pick up the piece after that. You can only, if you are in the middle of taking a thing apart, you can't really do that. So we've got some dirty parts and we've got one broken part. So either we will create it or we will buy it. So relatively a fast job. We are apparently buying it, looks like, maybe? Yeah, there's nothing we can create. And here again you will see the absolute lovely detail that you can see on these. You can see the dirt, then you can see the cleaning. And you can actually see there's some marks, either use marks or tool marks. As I said before, I'm not sure how much of this, if you actually, yeah, what I would really like to see is having a bit of variance in some of these. For example, I'm not sure what models of Thompsons you got, but I mean your Mauser. They can have a few different types of Mauser. I mean the Mauser and carbine they have here. There was different variants of it. That would have been nice. They could add that, not just the generic Carabiner 98. They could have the actual Gewehr 98, that would be nice. And again, they could really should have Enfield and what's his name? Fabrique Nationale. They could also have some of the French guns. I'm not so up to date with the French guns, but I do know they have had some very nice guns. If I'm not mistaken, I think they might have been the first that actually used smokeless cartridges. It's either them or the Swiss, although I think it was developed by a Swiss, I'm not sure, can't remember, but definitely it was, I think, the French that did the first smokeless, and I think the Germans that did the first Spitzer bullets. And both of those really threw the world in it. When the first smokeless gun came out, it really threw the world into a sort of a flat spin. Some nations just didn't catch up after that. Other nations just got started slowly, and I mean, it's really cool. So Britain, I know, got sort of really, they just had their Martini Henry, and it worked wonderfully. Then and there was a whole shift between small bore and large bore guns. Was really funny. I think it was the French that got the first smokeless, and everybody is, oh man, you've got smokeless. Then everybody else had to, I don't even have to clean a part, huh? So then everybody else played sort of catch up for a bit, and then because first there was the small bore. First military weapons, all of them were about .455 or 577, 455 type. I think big cartridges, and then there was sort of a, should we go to small bore, shouldn't we go to small bore? Some countries did go to small bore immediately, others didn't, and then came the smokeless powder and non-smokeless powder, and normal black powder isn't, the pressure differs from normal cordite or whatever smokeless powder they used. I know the British went to cordite. That's all quite corrosive, and rifling that worked wonderful with the smokeless or with normal black powder, sort of the Englishly Medford rifling. Also the Medford rifling didn't work nicely with, it was too shallow for the cordite. It sort of burned out. Cordite burned too hot. And so now you are there. I know there's another thing that I have to insert, but because I already started working with that part, you can't really pick up your the piece you are working. So now you have to complete the thing before you can either complete it or just go back with the right mouse button and then pick your part of pick up your part that you are working on. If a country that really got the short end of the deal with all of this smokeless powder and non-smokeless powder, and then the Spitzer bullets. Yep, and then just before or during World War I, Germany developed, the Spitzer bullets got developed, and that got adopted. And all the other countries were scurrying to get all of their guns refitted to Spitzer bullets, because you need different sights and so forth. I'm not sure about all of the ballistics involved, but yes. And then you get to a country like Portugal, not very at that stage. Although they had colonies, they really weren't in the top of the empire rushing thing. It was, I think, more between France and well, Germany was trying to catch up. England had an empire. So the early 20th century, you had Germany wanting to catch up with their, increase their empire, because they were not a Germany before 1871, and then Germany got themselves an empire, they got themselves a Kaiser, they got themselves unified, and now you want to play with all of the other countries. So you want an empire. And the world is not going to give you some. So you have to fight at that stage England and France, because they had the largest empires. There we go with our Thompson. Not going to test it. Oh, well, we can just as well test it here. I hate this testing table because I'm not always sure what happens where. Why? Come on, don't you want me to interesting. Let's see. What do we have? How do you actually remove that then? I've got a cat that's annoying at the moment. And if you're in here, you can't just opt out. There we go, now I can remove the magazine. Interesting. Okay, so now I need to come on, where is that safety button? But the cat is just being annoying. I know it's somewhere. See, that's the problem with this. I get lost in the buttons. There's the safety button. Come on, I did, didn't I? Damn it, the cat is being annoying. Okay, let's see. Pull back the charger. Now will it let me fire on safety? Come on. You see, and then you lose the... I've got a cat here that's annoying. And those of you who watched my channel before know I have a cat that's being annoying sometimes. Fully automatic safety. Let's see if we can do that now. This thing is sometimes annoying to actually figure out. I'm not going to take this out for a spin today, so we can see we've got 2 stars now. So if I do this again, at least we could have auto disassemble. Now let me show you the 3 stars again if you missed it before, or if I forgot to do it. So we can do assemble all parts because we are going to do fast assemble. So you can see this whole thing has got 23 parts. Let me just get this in focus. And here we go. Quick disassemble. Now isn't that cool? So we're actually going to have to finish some stuff. There's some rusty stuff, a bit of dirty stuff. Now these flintlock guns, if it is actually a true antique, sometimes the other game I have going that I've started before I started recording this. Look at this damn detail there. Just pause it for a bit before that. Blasted cat. I'm sure this cat has got some other tracker. I can sit and do other stuff on my computer the moment I open a game, the moment I want to record something. Look at the detail there again. The moment I want to record something. The cat is up and wants to play. I can do other stuff then, the cat doesn't want to play. But let me sit down in front of my computer actually wanting to do a recording quickly or something. Because I do this live, I'm not gonna edit these videos. It's too difficult. And sometimes if you edit some games, it's just a bit annoying. Because then you miss some of the either how difficult it is or how nitty-gritty some of the stuff is. Now I have gone through some of these guns and just not show it to you, but and the wax. I still don't know why this thing sounds like it's a wheel. But it does shine up the gun or the gun stock so nicely. I can't remember if I showed you this before, but here is all our stock of miscellaneous parts. All of the broken stuff we had, but there isn't, so far as I know, a way to actually fix it. And that you can actually collect parts from here to work on. You know, create ones, glue them. I know you can sell them from there, but I don't know if you can actually, I've never seen that you can actually work on them from there. So this is a old gun, so we use the wire mesh wheels. Nice. There we go. Okay, and now we need to assemble this thing again. What do we miss? Ah, we need to do this. Now, of course they want me to. So this still is not automatic. We've done this, we've completed all of that. We've got our 3 stars. And still this little bit, the oiling bit, is done by hand. So there is just some stuff in this game that you cannot speed up. There is just so much speeding up you can do. But there is still guns we haven't covered. We hope we've got to get a new gun somewhere. And now all we need to do, let's just get this all into focus nicely, is click this. There we go. Come on. There we go. Isn't this cool? Another gun I like to, these guns I like to actually show, because if you want to load them, now you put in your powder. For those of you who don't know, if it's here you put in your powder, depends on what you're loading for. If you are military loading a gun, you put in your powder, or you tear open your cartridge, you load the powder, and then you close the pan. Like that. And you do this. Then you load it. If it's for civilian use, you do this. It still keeps it there. Keep it at half cock. Then you load the gun. Then you park your powder in. Then you do this. Does this have a half cock? Yeah. Pull it back to half cock. Then you pull it back. That one was at full cock, but sometimes it doesn't want to stay in a half cock always. But anyway, if you load a flintlock, you muzzle the loader, you load over your muzzle first, then you prime your pan with the hammer at half cock, then you close your pan, then you pull your hammer back. If it's a military loading, normally you load your pan first with the hammer on half cock, close the pan, then you load your bullet through the muzzle, and after that you lift your gun up and full cock the hammer. We can actually buy something maybe. Yeah, we might be able to buy something. Ooh, VAS pistol, what are we gonna buy? I don't know. A grant. What do we want? I don't think we want to buy anything at the moment. Burrell. Oh, right, expensive. Oh, do we have a Thompson yet? Let's see what guns we have in our safe. Well, we only have got the, what is this? We've got the Mossberg and we've got the Miquelette. So we only have 2 guns. So what do you want? Ooh, let's see, what do we want to buy before we check out what we can get for new? Could get the VIS, we could get the Derringer, we could get the... Oh, I don't want a factory new. Grant. We like Thompson, let's go for Thompson, because Thompson is cheap. So let's do a little bit. I've done this before, but we'll do. So I normally just bid with the $5. Sometimes I just hang around. Every now and then just do a little bidding. Can't always see how good or in bad condition your gun is, and then you can of course go and pick it up down there. So let's see if we have a new thing. We still have that. Cousin's rifle we did the Mauser, did the Mac-10. I don't think we've done the Luger before, and the mini barrel. And for carbine I also think we did. Let's just go. We'll get the Luger and see what else. I think we did do the M4 carbine. The others I think we have already done. Oh, come on, wrong one. So that one we don't have there. There's a Mac 10 which we have. We've got the Mauser. There's the M1. We did the M4 that we did. What else is there? There's the Gunsmith rifle which we also did. Yeah, I think all of the guns that are there we did. Except the Luger. So we'll just take this. So to park this in your safe, you open it like you did all guns. Pop it over there. Put it down. Now it will ask you what do you want to do. It doesn't really matter. You can just click there because you're just gonna store it in the safe. Store in safe. So, and then we store it in safe. If you want to collect it from the safe again, you go to the safe, say, and then just take from safe. You can see the box disappeared from there, so it's in your safe, and if you take it up again. So now our new weapon for the day is the Luger. I'm not sure if it was the Luger or one of the other German gun pistols that was sort of had some patent infringement rights with Browning. What a nice little lot of fights there. Here we go, the Luger. We haven't done it before, so let's just see. That's enabled. Yep, it's enabled completely. This one, as it is here, has 30 parts. We don't know if all the parts are there or not. This is very distinctive of the Luger, this little round thing there. I need to remember correctly, but I think Browning had a thing going with Luger. It's either Luger. I don't think it's the guys from Walter PPK. It's either them or the guys from Walter or the Luger. Whoever was anyway, one of the German gun manufacturers had a thing going about who developed what first. There was some patent stuff, and in the end, I think Browning won the whole controversy thing that was there. I can't remember all of them, but go and read up about this. Some of these gun stuff is cutthroat. It's interesting. And then you get sort of a manufacturer like Enfield, that's or the British Arsenal, which is basically Enfield, although people just normally call them Enfield. Sort of the military that they buy stuff and then they get instead of them at the Royal Arms factory making them, they sort of subcontract the stuff out. And then there's normally some pattern problems that comes into effect, especially sort of if BSA or what is the other one? You get Birmingham Small Arms Company, and then besides the Enfield stuff. Anyway, then they sort of either forget or just don't think about applying for actual use of the patents, and then you get nice little court cases developing about this stuff. So I really wish they would bring some of the Enfield stuff in here. Interesting so far. We have got big barrel, very much similar to the Browning so far. We've got our barrel, we've got our slide. We've got our big recoil spring somewhere. Where is it now? Come on, I saw you just in a bit ago. Here we go. Got this stuff. Here we've got okay, this is our magazine. There is no recoil spring that I can see. Interesting. Am I just not seeing it yet? Maybe. No, this is the sights. Very nice sight, if that is what I'm working on. Is it the sights? Ah, the receiver. Very interesting receiver, this. I haven't yet seen the nice recoil spring. As I said, I'm not physically a gun expert. I just like to see how stuff works. I haven't really Googled a lot of this stuff. I should go. It's difficult to Google stuff because I don't know which guns I'm gonna have the next time I'm doing this. Looks like this is a firing pin with forward toggle the RAM. Not like the Brownings where you have a big recoil spring around the barrel or underneath the barrel depending on your or in this game the Colt 1911. So no big recoil springs for this. It's got a totally different system. It's a shame you can't really see how it actually works. You can just see how it is done. See, here we don't have that to fix it yet. Cool. So no dirty parts here. Nothing to fix there. Oh, come on. And here now you've got two different ways of cleaning. You've got this to clean it with, some parts. When they first had the game, they didn't have this sanding wheel, wire wheel thing. They just had the sandblaster. So all of the parts that's a bit rusty, you used the sandblaster on. You didn't have the option to use the wheel on them. Only when they added the flintlocks, they had to have, or they added a less abrasive part or cleaning method or rust removal method. Again, let's see, we can't create anything there. Now because we used the sandblaster, we have to actually, let's just put on our safety gear. We have to actually do this. If you just use the sandblaster, you do not need to use the chemical bath. It's not as abrasive, as far as I know. I didn't actually look here. Let's see when I... So sadly we cannot create manufacture parts for this. So nice if you want to know more about the physical gun stuff. Go and check out RC Arsenal's channel. He isn't sponsoring or anything this video, it's just I like his channel and they have got the nicest stuff to explain stuff, and they've got some nice animations also to show. So I don't know if Luger is on there, but a lot of the other guns. especially if it was basically a military gun that was used in World War One by any of the participating militaries or armies that was there. Oh, there is a mainspring. We just didn't see it because it wasn't there, apparently. We'll check out now where the mainspring goes. But anyway, RCN, was it RCN Arsenal? It's another guy's channel I also watch. I can't remember. That's more for the musket loaders, but RCN Arsenal literally took all of the guns available in World War One and started all of the nations that used them, including the Belgians. That was some of the Fabrique Nationale stuff, sort of the Brownings. There we go, there's the mainspring, that's why it sounds so funny. Whatever that is, sorry, that's not the mainspring, that is the, that thing. Come on. Ah, the extractor. There's the mainspring. Let's see, where's the main... Yeah, is it the mainspring magazine? Oh well. There's the mainspring. So let's see how this works. Really interesting construction. But anyway, RCN Arsenal, they sort of took all of the nations, the main ones, Germany, US, Ottoman Empire, British Empire. Then you get this stupid thing that doesn't want to do its job. Who else were there? The Russian Empire. And it's really interesting. Coming back to what I said about the black powder and the stuff a while ago, Portugal really got it bad. They were in the middle of developing rifles, and then I think they just had the rifle they wanted a bit a while, or they just got it, and then the black powder changed, and then they started developing about a weapon to use with smokeless, because they still had black powder weapons. And I think then they just got their new black powder weapons, and then their new weapons, they I think eventually went with Mauser, a Mauser variant, 1904. And then the Spitzer bullets came out, so but it's really remarkable how many countries used Mauser rifles. Almost as remarkable of how many, let's see what goes where. I mean, pistols, a lot of countries use pistol, or the Fabrique Nationale pistols, but not all of them use the military, for the military. So where does this spring go? Ah, this spring goes there. So this is where this gun's mainspring is. It's in the handle. So it's not like Browning at all. So your Luger isn't like Browning, so I presume it is the... here is our magazine. Presume then it is maybe the Walter PPK guys, or that made the Walter. Maybe not the PPK, maybe the PP, I'm not sure which one. Somewhere there was a patent infringement, or either the Browning and the guys who at Walter did the same develop idea at the same time, or one stole some other ideas. That's the cool thing about the other nice thing about firearms, is sometimes people either stole people's idea or just adapt it enough so that it's totally different. So we don't have them in this game, but the Martin Henry or the Peabody rifle, they are both breech block rifles. I think they're also called, falling block rifles. I'm not sure, but they're both literally falling breech block rifles, and they've both got the same, almost the same mechanism. They both operate with lever action guns, both falling breech blocks, but Martin E. Henry is basically a very, very simplified Peabody rifle action, or Peabody action. And there was patents filed in the US, I think, for the Peabody. Then Martin E. Henry brought his out, and there was sort of talk about patent infringements, but then it's a question of when is something changed enough to be its own part. Very much cutthroat industry, those. Because especially if you've got some of these when the patents were filed and when the production started in some of this stuff, wasn't always the same time. Sort of Browning filed patents all over the place. So where's this? There we go. And some of these patents was filed well in advance before Winchester made the stuff. And then he sells stuff to Fabrique Nationale, he sells other stuff to Colt later on. He develops something, then he developed it, and Winchester maybe either bought it and just shelved it because they didn't think it would be ready for the market, or the market won't want it. And then royalty payments come into it, and a lot of interesting stuff happens. So that's our our Luger. Very nice gun. Let's take it for a ride. We haven't done this one. I think we might do the shooting house for this one. I'm not very good at the shooting house. What's happening with it? Very, very nice. Oh, come on, that got lost again. Really nice graphics in this game. I've got it on full graphic settings, I think. If I can remember. It's on full graphic settings, so we've got 8 shots in here. Let's start. Nice. Now you can go through the house not using the oh, come on. There we go. Not using the zoomed in bit. So I can go through the house like this. And then I always get lost in this house. Come on. Where am I going? See, the markings here isn't very good. this is not fun. When you shoot like this, it's not fun in this game. You have to zoom in a bit. Oh, come on, and then you get this stuff that just... And I don't always... It's not very clear markings where you have to go. And let's reload. I would have liked a bit better markings. Just because, especially if you struggle with seeing contrasts, this isn't that fun to do. I missed. Now you can run through this faster if you're not me. It just isn't enough. Stuff. Ah, oh well, not good. But hey. 1400. Let's not think about this one. This is a bad one. So the house is difficult if you've got any contrast seeing problems, which I do. And I miss targets. You can see there I really did bad. Got some penalties because I missed some. My bad shooting. Let's just get out of this house. Forget the embarrassment of this. Go home. Sulk in our little workshop. So here we go. That's the end of our little episode almost today. Let's just pack this away, get our gun, park our gun. There we go. Ooh, not going there. Put the Luger away. Ooh, something we didn't do. Now that I'm thinking about it, is this. There we go. There we go. Alright, so we are not done with that one yet. We're still busy with our level. So the higher the level, the longer you are gonna work on it. So let's see if anything new came up. Called Peacemaker, AKM we did. Mossberg we did. Makarov we did not do. So we'll take our Makarov for next time. I like the Luger, interesting, really interesting weapon. AKM, Mossberg we did, Arasaka we did. So next time we will be doing the Makarov Russian pistol. Very nice. So thanks for watching. Please support the channel, please subscribe, please go and donate on patreon.com, and see you at my next game playthrough.